Well, there are updates you wish you never have to make, and this is one of them. But here we go. As you know, my expeditions are planned with numerous of very detailed Excel sheets. But what didn't make it into the Excel sheets is an accident with injuries that basically enable you to cycle. It didn't happen to me, I'm fine, but it happened to one of the crew. And it has been a couple of days. We are all really, really disappointed. It was a tough few days, I'm not gonna lie, for numerous reasons. First of all, being the injury and the pain and the uncertainty. But yeah, here we are. We were meant to leave in 1 week and a day. So in 8 days, we were supposed to leave on our trip, on our next expedition. And this will not happen. That is clear. It will not happen in that shape and form. We, at this point, really don't know what's going to be possible or not. It's still too early to tell. And obviously, the health and the well-being of my family is my number one priority, and I'm not gonna jeopardize this for some type of adventure. As I said, we are all really, really gutted. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, and I think we also allowed ourselves to be disappointed at this outcome. We don't want to bypass these type of emotions. At the same time, I don't want to bathe in them, and I also don't want to show my kids that this is the way you deal with situations which don't go according to plan. In the end of the day, the world keeps spinning, and it's not the end of the world, and it's also on us now to make the most out of it with these new circumstances. And that's what we're going to do. And that's the message I want to live and show my kids, that things might change, things might look different, things might suck, but we're not going to give up, and we're going to come up with something else. Yeah, I'm not sure what else I can say at this point. I mean, I was very disappointed the moment I stood in the hospital and I've seen the X-rays popping up on the screen. And it was very evident to me that, yeah, the game is over in part of when it comes to our trip. And I don't have any medical experience or knowledge. So, yeah, it was very, very clear. And I was sad at that point, because as much as I love our community, as much as I love to live here, and as much as I believe that this is the right spot to be in for our family at this stage of our life, I'm living for these type of adventures, and this is a big part of my life, and one I really, really love. And we have been working towards this adventure for months at this stage, and we've been very excited for it. And I think it's a normal reaction that you are sad. And at the same time, I try to put it into perspective, because we are all relatively well, things will heal, time will pass, and we will figure out something else. Yeah. I'm also going to keep you updated. I first was very tempted to just go silent and not say anything. And yeah, but at the same time, I feel this should not just be like a highlight show of my life. This should be real without disclosing all the information, because I want to also protect the privacy of my family. So I'm not going to share every detail, but I want to share that things sometimes don't go according to plan. And that's where we stand at this point. And I'm going to take you along. I really don't know what we're going to do now. But I have 8 days to figure it out. So come along. It is time for another update.
I've gotten some more information, and if everything is going according to plan, the injured should be back to normal, back to being able to cycle and do any other kind of sport on July 26th. And if we have a swift look at our rough plan, which we had, I sometimes feel you can't make these things up. The 26th of July is the day where we were supposed to ride into Vienna, our final stop of the expedition, basically, or of this adventure. Yeah, so what does that tell us? We kind of have still 2 weeks of vacation in August. But the thing is, then we are having plans, visitors, etc. here in the Alps. So we kind of need to be back here in the end of July. Yeah, so what are the options, you might ask? I'm asking myself the same question. So let's brainstorm. Funny enough, we still have the title 5 on Bikes from when we did one viewing here in this really beautiful co-working space where we usually work from. It's kind of fitting, even though we might have to cross out the bikes. And you know what? For this time, we were really prepared. We even ordered stickers with 5 on Bikes, Expedition Inn Danube. And we really upgraded our bike situation, the pannier situation, etc. Just kind of feeling a little bit funny. Last time we just left with like super basic gear. It's still pretty basic, but it's like an upgrade to what it would have been last time. So yeah, but we actually put some thought into it already. It's hard to read, but it says Summer 2.0. Well, one option we thought is to just stay put. Yeah. But in a way we thought, 7 weeks is a long time. The kids are off school. The things which we usually like to do here, they're very active. And then one kid cannot do them. So it's going to make it really difficult, I feel. Because we like to go, skiing in winter, swimming, cycling, hiking, etc. And, it just feels like a little bit of a dread because we could do things with part of the kids, but then the other one would have to stay back. And I just feel that's going to get it's going to be really long and pretty boring in a way. So, yeah, it doesn't really feel like a good option. Then we thought option 2. Doing something completely different. Well, yeah, could be an option. We thought about it. Again, we felt it's not so easy. Going to the beach, again, is not going to be so much fun for the kid that is injured because the other ones are going to be in the pool and swim or play on the beach, which she can't do. So, yeah, and then we thought about going north because, as you know, we like the north. We've had Norway on our bucket list for a long time. Last year we were in Sweden in summer, and Finland and Denmark, but the majority of the time we spent in Sweden. And there again, it was a lot about swimming, being in the lakes, being out. We're like, yeah, I don't know. Probably Norway with the car could still be an option. I don't know. I've looked up some ferries which are still kind of reasonable price wise, and yeah, we could still take the tent because we also bought a new tent. So we kind of could take the tent in the car and head there. Let's see, that could be an option potentially. Expedition Inn Danube, but it's instead of being on bikes, kind of hike part of it. Because we have talked to the doctors again, and it seems that they were in favor of walking. They felt that hiking should be okay in a few weeks if everything goes according to plan. And in a way, we felt that if we would hike part of the route which we wanted to do on the bikes, we obviously couldn't do everything because we will be slower. And I have no idea how we're going to carry everything because, again, the kid who is injured can't carry anything. And, we cannot take the panniers which we would had on the bike. And carrying something on your back is very limited, especially for the other two kids who would have had their stuff in the panniers. It logistically is also not nothing, but in a way we felt then you would still have kind of an activity every day. You would know what you're going to do every day and discover things along the way, which obviously again for my daughter would be a bit difficult probably, but then it's not like the whole day. I feel it is a difference whether you're spending your day at the beach and then you can't swim and kind of play in the sand, as when you kind of walk and then along the way probably see a pool where the others do hop in for half an hour. I mean, let's face it, I also can't take away that from the other ones completely. That would also be a little bit insane. And probably as time progresses, things are going to get easier. So we do feel that could be an option. Also after having talked to the doctors again, where they were also very much like, that you could do because you can't lock yourself into your flat for 6 weeks and you're going to go absolutely mad, which is true. And we most likely are going to go mad within a few days. So, yeah. What else? We were also thinking about still taking the bike and have the injured kid in the carrier and probably take one e-bike. But yeah, I think that really depends on how the whole healing goes, because as I said in the first part, the main priority is obviously the health and the well-being of everyone involved. So, we don't want to take any unnecessary risks. At the same time, we kind of have to do something, even if we stay home or if you take the car. If somebody happens to bang into your car, that would also be bad. So, it's kind of, life does carry some risks as it is, so you can't eliminate everything. But it's about kind of being sensible. Yeah, so I guess that's it. I think staying put is off. Even the pen is giving up on me. There you go. We will have another appointment on Monday, which is in 2 days from now. And I hope we're going to have a little bit more clarity then, or at least we're going to get the confirmation that we are heading in the right direction. Yeah, we have actually taken the decision not to make a decision or take a decision before Monday. What we did do, we cancelled the train to St. Moritz. And fortunately, we actually booked tickets which we could cancel, which was also in a way funny, because very often we are taking these tickets which are non-refundable but pretty cheap. But this time we actually booked the ones which were refundable. So it was very easy in the app. With like 2-3 clicks, we were able to refund them. Then we have booked two campings, but 3 nights on them in the beginning of the trip. And what we are actually thinking is that we're gonna push back the whole trip at least by a week, so that we are like gaining a little bit of time for, again, healing. I mean, like another week is hopefully gonna help. So what I'm gonna do on Monday, when I have a little bit of a better idea, is I'm gonna call them and ask whether I could push our reservation back. Usually you kind of pay, and they don't really give refunds, or they sometimes give a little refund, but not like the whole amount. But I'm hoping by explaining the situation that they would kind of, be willing to push the reservation back. Otherwise, we would also have a travel insurance. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's like not that big of sum. But that's what we were thinking about at the moment. So stay tuned. Well, here we go with another little update. We have come to a decision that we will be hiking part of the route along the Inn. As we have talked to the doctors, it became evident that walking is perfectly doable, and we thought, well, probably it was meant to be like this. Because I think I've shown you this before. There was one spot where I was a little bit concerned due to the elevation. And we're gonna have, even though we're packing light, quite some luggage. And we were playing with the idea to take an e-bike and potentially another trailer, so that our daughter could sit in the trailer. But still, we were not sure whether it's a smart move, because the elevation is quite significant. I can show it to you. So what we did so far, we hiked from Maloja to St. Moritz a few weeks ago. And now we were thinking, because this part from Zernetz to Squol has these considerable elevation. This is like, you can see it here, it's like from about 1400 you have to rise to about 1700 meters above sea level. That's an elevation of 300. Then you're going down to a little less than 1500 meters above sea level, and then again up to about 1650 meters. So that's another elevation of 250 probably, and then all the way down to Squol. So now we thought, let's just hike from St. Moritz to Squol, because now in summer it's nice and warm and you can stay in the tent easily. And then if we potentially pick up the thread again, we can start from Squol, where there is still going to be some elevation, because in the end we are in the Alps, but that is fine. I think those we can manage, because we are used to cycle in the Alps, but we are not used to cycle that much up and down with luggage. So that's the plan for now. I do think we can manage this stretch in 3-4 days, but we planned a week so that we have time to also chill. And we pushed back the starting date to the middle of next week, so that's also going to give us some extra days. And from there, to be honest, it seems like we're not going to do the cycling part this summer. We just realized logistically, also with the e-bike, it would become too complicated, because an e-bike cannot be transported by train, and with most of these how to say, these companies who transport goods for you, like DHL or something like this, they also don't transport e-bikes. Most likely we're going to head out on a road trip afterwards. The idea being we also got a new tent, like a bigger one, which now when we hike, we will not take that one because that's a little bit too big. We could have taken it on the bikes, but now, for the hiking part, we think of taking 2 smaller tents, which we had, but then we thought we could head out on a road trip with the tent. So we also came to a decision when it comes to our road trip. We have decided that we're going to go to 2 countries which we haven't visited before, and none of us has been there. So we are going to head to Luxembourg and Belgium. And I know this is probably not your typical summer destination, but we're always keen to try out something new. And so, this is what we're going to do after the hiking bit, which is going to start next week. And I'm going to take you along. I'm also going to take you along the hiking bit. I guess, especially the packing is going to be pretty interesting. I'm a little bit worried about how we're going to manage to carry everything. But we will find out together how that goes. And you will also come along to Luxembourg and Belgium. So, well, I had this other thought last night whilst I was sitting on my balcony. And that was that the Expedition Rhine actually also took us 10 years to complete. I do hope that the Inn Danube doesn't take us 10 years, but with the Rhine, it was such that my husband and I, we started that expedition, or we had that idea in summer of 2014. And after about 400 kilometers of cycling, we realized that I was expecting, and we realized because I was all of a sudden feeling really, really sick. And I felt like I couldn't cycle 1 more kilometer. And then we took another attempt to continue. And then we found out that I was expecting our 3rd child. So we also ended up not doing it. And and finally in summer of 2024, we picked up the thread and finished the Rhine and arrived at the North Sea, which was really, really nice and such core memories for us as a family. In case you haven't seen that movie, I'm going to link it for you. It's so dear to me, and to be honest, that movie, well, I made it for you as well, but it's especially a really precious memory for all of us. So here we are, excited about the new plans. It's the last day of school, actually the last morning of school, because they're gonna close school at lunch today. So let's see how these 7 weeks are gonna turn out. I'm excited, I'm gonna take you along, and I see you soon.